نفيس تفضل تفضل بسم الله الله المستعان Peace. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. حياكم الله.
When is dua qunut and nawazil prescribed?
Question is, when is dua al-qunut in nawazil prescribed? متى تشرع يعني, and when should we do it and so forth? When the government tells you to. When the government allows you to. When they say it's acceptable, then you can do it, brother. على كل حال, يعني, this is a problematic issue. From one aspect, one way of looking at it is, there's so many gaping wounds in the ummah today. And there are many different tragedies and calamities as we speak. For argument's sake, one would say what? You will be doing it what? Every single day. And obviously that's going to be a problem. So, على كل حال, as the scholars of Islam, the ulama explain, إذا نزلت بالمسلمين نازلة ولكن كثرت النوازل ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. فأنا أرى والله تعالى أعلم أنه يعني يفعل بين وقت وآخر. بين وقت وآخر. الاستمرار عليه الدوام يعني هذا يصير المشكلة. لكن بين وقت وآخر وهذا محل اجتهاد يعني شيء نسبي. أنت قد تراه وقد لا أراه. والله تعالى أعلم.
When do you usually, what part of the prayer is that?
What part of the prayer? The nawazil. It can be made Maghrib, مثلا. Obviously, Salat al-Fajr, khilaf among the fuqaha, with regards to did the Prophet ﷺ do it in Fajr, let alone did he do it every single day in Salat al-Fajr. So, for argument's sake, to be safe, one can say in a night prayer. And if you want it to be even safer, you can say in your personal prayers at night. However, when the Imam of the Muslims, and that's another problem, is the fragmentation of the Ummah. There is no central leadership or guidance. Every man's for himself. So there is no central, I command the Muslims to do it, so on and so forth. So for argument's sake, the Imam of the Masjid, هذا أقرب ما يكون إلى الحاكم والقاضي, يعني Sheikh of the Masjid, of the Markaz, you're the ruler in Brooklyn, يعني, and your Masjid. So your ijtihad, you want to do it individually at nighttime by yourself, or when you decide, you tell the Imam, let's make dua for our brothers tonight in Salat al-Isha, the last rak'ah before or after the ruku'. Wallahu ta'ala a'lam. نسأل الله العافية. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Our topic discussion last week, I wanted to know, is there any specific advice or ruling pertaining to if someone was to find a stray dog or cat, and whether or not it's recommended to leave it alone, or if we do, pick them up, what should we do?
Understood. As far as the cat, then obviously we know the Islamic position towards cats and felines, which is generally agreeable. Naam. If you feel that the cat belongs to someone, has a collar, looks a little fluffy, and better than some humans. This cat is eating better than me. I had, sugar water or mayonnaise sandwich for lunch. There wasn't no filet mignon cat food, right?
Salmon in it.
Right? So, if you think that the cat is someone's lost kitty, maybe, mumkin. Even if you don't take the cat in, you take it to the closest, or even a safer street for argument's sake. But even then, something goes wrong, right? Cat scratch you, or the cat, goes to the, that could be a nightmare. Or someone accuses you of, you're trying to steal my cat. You terrorist Muslim.
Catnapper.
So sometime you might have to mind your business in the days in which we live. But if you don't feel that's the case, different story. As far as a dog, obviously we know the problematic issue concerning owning dogs and keeping them as pets. And that is only allowed in certain situations. Protection, a sheepdog, hunting dog, And some scholars, they differ with regards to can you have a guard dog in the middle of the city. It's neither here nor what? There, right now. Can you sell a dog and buy a dog? Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, and other scholars, they say if the dog is lawful to have for those reasons, then it's permissible. And obviously the majority, they say, as the hadith says, yani, fill his mouth with, yani, put turab in his face. They say, no, you can't sell or buy a dog. And if you need a hunting dog or a sheep dog, then you just have to they say, just get it somehow. Just get the dog. Al-Muhim, at the end of the day, I wouldn't pick up the dog. I wouldn't take the dog with me. Allah is the dog's creator and protector, and yani, yeah, Allah musta'an. Wa iyyakum. Fadda Abu Bilal.
Is it permissible to go to family reunions, being that your family are Catholics?
Can you go to a family reunion if your family are Catholic? They got good food? Bismillah. You go, you visit your family. I gotta keep it real. There's no fake stuff. We keep it in real. If whatever May's chicken ain't that good, then what? I gotta go to the masjid today. Or, but if it's jumping, if it's busting, then what? Bismillah. Let's keep it real. In all cultures, they what? They have that. But of course, we're joking. But people say it's just a black thing. But this culture, they have the little shingdings. Sheikh Khan, right or wrong? They have their bid'ah shingdings, Talib. They have their wakes. They have their stuff. No one says what? Nothing about that. Fried chicken, baked macaroni and cheese. It's impermissible. This is kuffar. It's a bid'ah. But the cook-up rice is what? We're not keeping it what? We're not being honest, right? So at the end of the day, all jokes aside, inshallah, a little humor, all jokes aside, you go there, you visit your family. If that's an appropriate time, you give them their rights. If you can give them dawah, you show your face, you represent Islam, and you be about your business. You be what? Me personally, I'm not a big fan of family reunions, me personally. I don't know, this may be, for my sins or my personal problems, but I'm not a big fan of big family gatherings. And that's because things always tend to go what? Left. Extremely left. When it's everybody and people just start acting crazy and they start blaming you for their problems and this and that, it's like, nah, I'll see you on this day. Grandma and Uncle Ray will be here on this day. Aunt Faye will have the fish fry, what? Yeah, but everybody what? Recipe for disaster. And sometime the mafsada is greater. That's my personal what? My personal opinion. Let alone how many non-Muslim family members are willing to see you on your day. Jumu'ah, Eid. When was the last time a non-Muslims gave you a what? Yeah, Assalamu alaikum, right? Happy Eid, Eid Mubarak. Do they? But you gotta come to the Christmas. You gotta come to the Thanksgiving. You have to, and if not, you're a bad son, you're a bad grandson. How's that fair? So this is food for thought, huh? Wallahu alam. Once again, I make my position clear. This is nothing against turkey or stuffing or gravy. It's nothing against, I have no problem with that, all right? Wallahu alam.
Our question was opposed to me. Can you expound on the reason why the prayers are in the numbered order that they are in? Part 2,
Understood. What are some of the wisdoms that we know about with regards to the structure of the prayers, the time of the prayers, etc.? First and foremost it's like, let's make a comparison, right, of eating or meals. The other day, a brother asked me, a student, a disciple of mine, he's overseas studying, so obviously coming from the West. He said, how often should I eat, Sheikh? I've read Shafi'i this and Fulan, Kana, etc., etc., etc. So I said, it depends on you. Your body, your needs, how much energy you're spending, you're putting out, I said, me personally, if you ask my personal opinion, I would say the best dietary structure is the American and the Western dietary structure. 3 square meals a day, a little snack in between, maybe a dessert. That's my personal what? Personal opinion. In the morning you have a meal, it don't gotta be the biggest meal, but you have what? A meal, some energy. Obviously, it don't gotta be 4 hours, 5, 6 hours. You're gonna feel what? If you're working, you're gonna be hungry. And then, obviously, you're gonna be what? Towards the end of the day, it don't gotta be right before you sleep, it don't gotta be but you're gonna get hungry. And in between, you may need something to what? Snack on, so on and so forth. Now, it could be, if you're a vegan, John, or this one or that one, I don't know your guys' aqidah. I don't know, I want to know. All right? That's one thing. And no one said meat or got to be greasy or processed. Al-Muhim, 3 square meals a day. So if you just look at the body's needs, physical needs, energy, and let alone what? Because a big part of fasting is what? It's mental. So if you just look at how often your stomach or your mind is going to send a message, it kind of makes what? Sense. So just look at the prayer. The first thing you do, you wake up is what? Hours go by. You start your day studying, working, traveling. It's time to do what? To stop and what? Mention Allah. Physically worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hours afterwards, it's not night. The day's not over yet, but for sure it's afternoon. The day is ending, is winding down. You need to what? A major happening, phenomenon. It was light, it was hot, dark, cold, windy. That's time to what? Make dhikr. And to be in that state. And then of course, towards the end of the night, before you sleep, before you retire, before you go to sleep, so on and so forth, you need to make another last final what? So if you just look at the structure of the prayer, the needs of the human being connected to his creator, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it just makes sense. Then you look at the structure of the prayer, Salat al-Fajr, many people are going to be beginning their days, right? But at the same time, the day hasn't officially begun yet, officially. Sun is still not up, it's still dark, it's still a little cool. People's minds are a little fresh, they just woke up. But at the same time, the prayer shouldn't be so long, which will prevent them from having breakfast, going out to earn a living, to seek Allah's rizq. So the salah being recited out loud only makes sense because your mind is fresh. And you have a little bit of a small window in which it's not just the worldly life. Dhuhr, in most cases, you started your workday already. Orthodox traditionally. So your mind is not 100% there. So it kind of makes sense for the imam to recite silently. The mind isn't 100% there. So just look at the concept of Fajr and its supposed length versus the number of rak'ah. And then Dhuhr, more rak'ah, less recitation. It makes what? Dhuhr is also during the daytime. Maghrib is unique. There's nothing like sunset. At nighttime, the sun has been down for hours. Sunset is unique. So one can say it kind of makes sense for Maghrib to be 3 and to be what? Unique. And you're retiring from your work that day. You're not fully retired. It's time to what? Hear those words. And then al-Isha, وهكذا. So these are some things that can be said with regards to that. And I'm sure there are other wisdoms that can be extracted, mentioned by different scholars, different people. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Hopefully that makes sense. Ahmed.
In terms of like the order of, do we count Fajr first or Dhuhr first?
Fajr or Dhuhr? Well, one could count Dhuhr first. أقم الصلاة لدلوك الشمس إلى غسق الليل وقرآن الفجر. Quran clearly says establish the prayer from the leaning of the sun. And the leaning of the sun after it reached its zenith is Dhuhr. When did Jibreel alayhi salam teach the Prophet to pray? What prayer did he start off with first? Was it Fajr or was it Dhuhr? And then obviously if you just look at the day and the number of prayers, day starting at Fajr, not at night 12 a.m., then it would be Fajr. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Fadl. Ahmed. Or, no, this is for you, Talib. What can you tell us about the Caspian Sea?
Salty.
Allahu Akbar. Can't go wrong with that answer. طيب. Big, small, large, many, landlocked. Shuaib.
Has a strait.
Big H. Ali. Caspian Sea. Allahu Akbar. Has many fish. There's no doubt about that. Sheikh Khan, what can you tell us about the Caspian Sea?
Partially landlocked.
Partially landlocked, he says. Tayyib? Anything else, Sheikh? Mahad. What borders? It has strategic importance, all right? It's a good answer, especially in light of what's going on today. All right, the great game, right? Tayyib. The largest inland body of water in the whole world. This is the biggest body of water that is locked by, and not partially. Mahad, what countries have access to the Caspian Sea? Iraq. Anybody else? Or any other countries? Turkmenistan. It's not Turkey. It's not Iraq. Those are both misses. Definitely not Yemen, Abu Bilal. I haven't revealed his location yet. Definitely not Greece. Far from Greece, brother. Iran. Now you're talking, Mahad. MashaAllah. Now you're talking. May Allah bless you. Indeed. Any other countries? Azerbaijan. Georgia. Who's the most famous president from Georgia? Who's the most iconic figure in history from Georgia? The Georgian peasant, the pock-faced peasant. Absolutely. Who it actually wasn't his real name, nah? That's the name he obtained afterwards in his bank robbing days. The man of steel. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting figure, huh? And also with regards to Islamic history. A great deal of Islamic history, not talking about the old stuff, but in the modern 20th century, pertains to Muslims and Stalin and communism and Soviet Union. Many countries, we have many beautiful brothers from to this very day. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan have inseparable history with that guy called Stalin. And the reason why things are is because of what? It's because of that. Very interesting. All right, and no more history lessons. All right, let's move on to the next question. Good job, Ahmed. Photo.
Initials HG from Fontana, California. What does al-taqdees mean? Is it a type of dhikr? Is it something specific we should say?
Tardis. Taqdees? I don't know of the specific type of dhikr called taqdees. Obviously coming from Quds. Al-Quddus, right? Al-Hadith Qudsi, making, sanctifying you, making you holy, purifying you. But I'm unfamiliar of a specific type of dhikr with that title. La adri.
Initials MA from London, UK. Please make dua for me It is my hardest time since the reverting. I always pray 5 times, but last 3 months I've only been able to get to my alarm twice. Also getting pressure from other areas.
We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make you worthy of the test. I mean, salah during trials is what you need the most. That's the thing you need more of, not less of. Wallahu alam.
Initials HG from Fontana, California. Assalamu alaikum Mufti. Do you have any advice for slow readers?
Advice for slow readers? Well, there's nothing wrong with being a slow reader. That's fine. Everyone is not going to be fast. Now, and if you want to be faster, and it harms you by being slow with regards to the books that you can or cannot finish, or the classes, or keeping up, then I would advise you to, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, take some courses. And I remember some years ago in Medina, when I first came across the different reading apps and the Apple Store. That was years ago. So I can only imagine what they have now. You know, the first time they had this thingy, this PDF app, it reads for you, the page moves. That was 12, 13 years ago. I'm sure now so you get some apps to help you speed read. But be careful when it comes to training yourself to speed read, because sometimes it's like a rubber band. If you stretch it too much, it will never go back to. So you want to sit down and take your time. All right, so be mindful. Don't set the treadmill too fast. And of course, there are reading coaches. You can get a reading coach. You can get someone to help you and to train you read. Don't ever forget, any problem that you suffer or face in your life, there's someone who specializes in that. Don't ever forget that.
You had that in your course.
No, that wasn't a part of Medina. That was my own.
No, I'm talking about student knowledge.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. How to become a serious student of knowledge. Wallahu alam. Comprehension, speed reading, memorization. There are tools for all of that stuff. Wallahu alam.
Initials HY from Toronto, Canada. Assalamu alaikum. Can you review the process to correct a mistake made in salah? For example, you forgot a rak'ah or unsure what rak'ah you're on. Also, how to join a Jama'at prayer late.
What is some of the strategic value or importance of the Caspian Sea, Ahmed? What two continents does it connect? So, for argument's sake, that would be a major what? Trade, or just think about west, east, Suez Canal, third world, first world. Who will be utilizing that sea right now? What bad guys?
Those who shall not be named.
Such as? No, that's a bad answer. You lost like 20 points for that. They got control of the whole entire, whatever, canals. Talib. Iran, Mahad for sure. The bad guys, what else? Use your imagination, guys. Russia. Right? What else? Who else? China. Sanctions, right? This, that, so on and so forth. You can't use this canal, you can't use this waterway. And then they what? Tight. All right. Repeat the question, please, Nafis. Where's the largest railroad in the world? The longest track of railroads is where? Sahara? Railway. In India. China. Repeat the question, Nafis. Trans-Siberian. Now we're talking. Where's that located at, brother? Hold on. Starts from Russia and it goes where? Anytime the word trans is mentioned, then you already, well, wait a second. Hold on. Not in 2025. Let me take that back. Yeah, that's right. That's no longer applicable in our times. Allah Mustaan. Yeah. Further Nafis, stick to the Q&A.
HG from Fontana, California. Initials HY from Toronto, Canada. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Can you review the process to correct a mistake made in salah? For example, you forgot a rak'ah or unsure what rak'ah you're on. Also, how to join a Jama'at prayer late.
Okay. Let's start off with the easier question. And by Allah's permission, both will be easy, inshallah. You come to the Jama'ah late like you will come to the normal prayers. You don't run, you don't rush. As the Prophet ﷺ clearly explains, فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ. All right, whatever you catch, you pray. and whatever you miss, you make by yourself. With exceptions to some scholars holding the view that one is allowed, if and when he catches the imam in ruku', to make one takbirah. Not two, just one. There's no istiftah, isti'adha, fatiha, surah. There is no takbirah, there's no pausing. You're just going Allahu Akbar right into ruku' to catch that rak'ah. Some scholars, they hold that view, and you can see the obvious benefit behind that. As far as any other position, you're going to make the takbirah, and you go down into that position, whatever that position may be. Now, the problem is reoccurring, especially in Saudi and Medina, right? You get to the masjid late, and you see that they're in the last tashahhud. Do you join it? The imam is going to salam out, and you're going to have to make what? 4 by yourself? Or do you say, look, khalas, let me just wait a second and pray with other people coming in the masjid? That's a judgment you're going to have to make. As far as what happens when you miss a rak'ah, or you forget a rak'ah, so on and so forth, I'm going to keep things simple. The most important ruling of sujood as-sahw is fixing the mistake. And you cannot leave the prayer without certainty. I made 4 rak'ah, even if I happen to make 5, but I'm sure there was 4. I'm sure, yaqeenan. I could have made 6, but I know for sure it's 4. So you're not to leave the prayer without certainty. Leave no place for the shaitan. All right? Those are the 2 guiding principles of all fiqh of sujood as-sahw. Whatever mistake was made or you thought you made, you patch it up. And secondly, you leave salat with yaqeen. So I think I made 3, I'm not sure, for dhuhr. I'm going to make it. And then afterwards, make the sajda. Before the salam, after the salam, al-muhim, 2. 2, for sure. I'm going to make the 2 prostrations along with the jalsa in between. And if I'm sure I messed up one, or I reached the second rak'ah and I didn't say the Fatiha in the first rak'ah, the second rak'ah becomes the first rak'ah. And you want to make the sujood as-sahw what? After. Meaning after you finish your prayer, whether it's before the salam or, I would understand this. So those are the most important things. In brief, wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials TS from Stoke, Norway. Are perfumes that contain aromatic notes of alcoholic beverages like rum, cognac, etc. haram to buy?
Understood. Whiskey, right? Tobacco, some Muslims have. I don't want to mention no names. Al-Muhim, it depends, Yani. Why are you buying it? You want to smell like alcohol? It reminds you? Or is that a science of scents? There's the base scent, the chaser. There are 3 tiers to all, not all, I can't say all, but most colognes have what? 3 tiers. First being what? What's the first, Ahmed? What's the second? Mahad. What's the third? Ahmed, Google it. It's important to know when you buy a fragrance.
Are you referring?
What's the first thing that you smell upon spraying? What is the next fragrance that is the chase that it runs right after it? And what is the smell that what? Stays and makes the most mixture with your chemistry? Head note. Number 2, heart note. Number 3, bottom notes. HadithDisciple is for what? All sciences, from the Caspian Sea to the science of this. And it's a benefit to know, to picking out a fragrance. Because oftentimes you spray, oh, that smells good, and then that does what? That's not the base note. So it's not going to stick with you. So it's very important to understand this. All right, so at the end of the day, I think for an accurate answer, wallahu alam, is that the Hennessy or the whatever, or the whiskey or the tobacco, whatever haram thing or dislike thing, what type of note is it? Also, why are you buying it? You like this fragrance, or you want to smell in that manner, in this manner. Thirdly, what does it actually smell like? So if you have tobacco and vanilla, or tobacco, vanilla, and cedar, or tobacco, vanilla, and leather, right? What does the actual tobacco smell like? Does it smell like tobacco, a cigar, or a blunt, or, you know, or is it just a woody, musky, burnt type of flavor? And the same applies to with an alcoholic theme or note. What's meant by that? You smell like a wino that you've been drinking? Or is it a science, it's blended in, and it's a unique, exotic type of smell? So I think that's important to be taken into consideration. Of course, the best thing is to avoid and to stay away from it. Also, a part of the answer could be, is there actual alcohol in the fragrance or actual tobacco in the fragrance? And as a discussion in itself, a traditional discussion is alcohol-based cologne and perfume haram or halal. That's another discussion. But right now we're just dealing with, it says on the bottle, vanilla tobacco, sweet tobacco. Can I buy it, or is it haram because people smoke cigars, cigars being whatever they are, so on and so forth. All of those things you have to take into consideration. If you check every box and you feel confident about it, and there's none, that doesn't apply to you, that's not your intention, then we say what? Bismillah. It's not like you're drinking it, you're not drinking it, nor is it the actual alcohol, it's not the, it's just Wallahu ta'ala alam. Don't forget the benefit where you heard it first. Amen. So all of a sudden you hear, you know, this guy, this sheikh, talking about bass notes and hard notes. Don't forget where you heard it first. And this has happened several times. People just magically pop up with stuff. Like, yo, like, right? It's okay. But don't act like you what? And pay a little homage wouldn't what? Wouldn't hurt, right? Wallahu alam.
Can I ask them shisha?
Shisha. Rules apply as well. Wallahu ta'ala alam.
Initials DD from Manchester, UK. What is the role of the student of Hadith in the modern day, arguing that they are recorded and accessible online?
What's their role? Well, the student of Hadith is supposed to be like any other student of knowledge. He has a duty and a responsibility. And I would advise every upcoming student of knowledge to read a small book, which is a transcribed lecture of Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Abdullah ibn Baz called Mas'uliyatu Talib al-Ilm. It's a book that I benefited many, many years ago, in my early years in Medina, and it was tremendously impactful. Mas'uliyatu Talib al-Ilm. I'm not sure, Mahad, but I think the book may be translated in English. Responsibility of the Student of Knowledge. It's a great book, a great book. So therefore, a student of Hadith, he has to be like any other Talib al-Ilm. Student of Hadith is supposed to be elite. Don't look at me, nor am I talking about myself. But he's supposed to be what? Elite. He's supposed to be above the rest of the herd. He's supposed to be at the forefront. So the student of Hadith has to be a part of his society, but it doesn't mean you compromise the truth. Student of Hadith has to be included in what's going on in the world today, but it doesn't mean you get caught up in every fitna and every trend. And also, unfortunately, the sad reality, in nafa'ati dhikra. Don't waste your time. Don't deal with things that are going to be a waste of time, unfortunately. Wallahu alam.
Initials HJ from.
Hold on.
What's the ruling on like ordering food, ordering halal food from places that are typically places like fahisha? Like for example, like we're eating food from like a shisha.
From a hookah joint.
Yeah.
What's the rule on getting the hookah bar? I remember one time. Remember? Was you with me? They had a Ramadan special. Yeah, it was like a discounted, not an iftar suhoor. Yeah. MashaAllah, yani. Allahumma musta'an. Ala kullin. From one aspect, one's going to say you're assisting them upon ithim and udwan. You're helping them to sin. You're supporting their business. Okay. But how many other stores and places you buy from that are kuffar establishments? So, I mean, let's be real, right? This hookah place got the best what? The best baba ganoush in town. Halloumi cheese, right? Kebab, rice, Mediterranean. This Lebanese hookah place is what? Is the best baby lamb chops you'll find. I'm calling it what? The hookah joint. Allahumma musta'an. Yeah, I need you order from non-Muslims. You buy from the supermarket. They probably send their money over to. Allahumma musta'an. Yeah, I mean, the situation that we're in. Allahumma musta'an. I don't think it's a means of sin. And if you can find somewhere from something from somewhere else, then that's obviously best. However, look, let's keep it real, right? These are the best kebabs in town. And some hookah places, they're separated. They're what? You can actually walk into the restaurant part without going into the
They got one floor.
Arabian Nights section. Huh? What flavor you going with hookah? Peach, apple, what?
I'm not gonna shout this.
Strawberry, what you doing? Allahumma musta'an. Next question.
Initials HJ from Brooklyn. What's the ruling of donating organs accordance to the Sharia?
We'll stop here tonight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Jazakumullahu khairan. It should still be in the back.